Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer talk roundup. Please do smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. Help us on the road to 6,000 subscribers and get your comments and your thoughts on the latest players linked to come into Aston Villa or potentially move out from Aston Villa. Yes, we know it's been International Week, but the transfer rumour mill has still been in full flow. And the first player we're going to look at is a player who featured against Aston Villa earlier on in the season in the Champions League, and that is Kenan Yildiz of Juventus, and he is a very exciting player. Looks like Villa are interested in him, as well as Manchester United and a number of other clubs, so could be well on other clubs' radars across Europe in the summer. But it's talk about 75 to 80 million euro price tag. Plays mainly at left wing, but also can play through the middle in a forward position. Has 55 appearances for Juventus since 2023 and scoring 6 goals, and has been capped by Turkey 18 times, scoring 2 goals as well. Came through the Bayern Munich academy from age 7 right through to sort of 17, 18, and then moved into the Juventus first team setup or next gen setup, and then went on to the first team. So very, very good pedigree, very exciting player, and I think he caused a lot of problems for Aston Villa, albeit didn't really have too many chances because I think Juventus were missing quite a few players at that time, but certainly a player of high quality, high ability, passing and ground duels being one of his strengths. Had a pretty consistent season on SofaScore rating of 7.16. Didn't have a great game last time out against Atalanta. As we see, operates mainly down that left-hand side, pops up on the right, but up and down that pitch, works very hard for the team. 22 starts in 28 games, 4 goals this season and 4 big chances missed, 3 goals from inside the box, 1 from outside the box, 1 actual goal with his head and 3 with the left foot. So obviously favours that left side, 2 assists and 6 big chances created. Maybe would want to create some more assists, I would imagine, but I don't think it's been the best of seasons for Juventus in terms of goal scoring. So probably one where he might benefit from a more attacking side. 86% in terms of passing accuracy, 90% in the own half, and 75% in the opposition half. So we saw how good Juventus were in possession. We saw how good they were moving the ball. So obviously he has that technical ability, which is known for Italian teams, but also, as I said, he comes from a very good pedigree of skill. 56% in terms of successful dribbles and 56% in terms of duels won and 61% ground duels won. So very strong player, very tough player, can win a tackle and I would imagine quite a high press, pressing the high up the pitch and win the ball high up the pitch and keep attacks going. So look, exciting player. Obviously, I think a lot hinges on Marcus Rashford and what we might do with him. Do you spend a little bit less money in terms of transfer fee, but I would imagine higher wages for Marcus Rashford, or do you spend a higher transfer fee in what Yildiz would command and a potential slightly lower in terms of wages, although I'm sure he's on a considerable amount or would want a considerable amount. So that is the deal. And do we have the funds? So much of it depends on where we finish in the league and what happens with the Champions League. Yes, we're going to generate quite a lot of income from our from our Champions League run, but is that money going to be available to spend, and what manoeuvrings will we have to do to compensate for that? So let me know your thoughts in the comments on Yildiz. Now, we have 2 other exciting young Olympiacos players. First one, Christos Mouzakitis, and he's 18 years of age, and he is playing very, very well at the moment in their first team. Has featured 18 times this season, 2024, and has already been capped by Greece and has been capped right through from under 16 through to the full national team. So central midfielder, only aged 18. We know what we're like with signing these players from across Europe. We've done the same with Nedeljkovic and one or two others. Barrenechea, who's slightly older, we'll come to him later. And numerous other Özcan as well, who's come from Turkey, obviously fantastic young talent. So we're seeing that this is what Aston Villa are doing, and whether he would come in and challenge for the first team, whether he would stay at Olympiacos for 12 months and then move into the first team or go on loan somewhere else would remain to be seen. But central midfielder or defensive midfielder, likes to get about the pitch, potentially in those middle 2/3 of the pitch, doesn't really operate in both boxes too much. 18 games played, started 13, and has scored a goal as well in the league, which is good. One goal with his left foot, one assist already, 82% passing accuracy, 90% in his own half, 74% in the opposition half, 3.6 ball recoveries, and 73% in terms of successful dribbles when he tries them, 45% in terms of duels won. So very, very good player, 18 years of age. So to be playing first team football at that age is incredible, really, and a real talent. And I think numerous clubs across the globe are looking at him. AC Milan, I think Manchester United, I think Chelsea as well as Aston Villa. But Villa seem to be, in terms of the reports, the favourites. Now, the other player is Charalampos Koustalos, who's 17 years of age. He looks very mature, looks already like a man already, and he is a striker, and he is doing very, very well as well in the first team with Olympiacos. 21 appearances this season and 6 goals already. He's not featured yet for the full Greek international side, but has played for the under-21s and scored 2 goals in 2 games. And he's another player who is catching a lot of attention. And it's looking like a €20 million, I think, deal for the two of them. But I'd imagine it could be a little bit more than that. But he's a striker. Again, likes to get about the pitch, works very hard in the box as well. 13 starts as well already, 21 games played, 6 goals, as I said, 7 big chances missed. So likes to get into the box, likes to put his foot in, put his head in. 2 goals with his head, 4 with his right foot, has won a penalty as well. So there's a lot of potential there. 3 big chances created, 74% in terms of accurate passes, 76% in his own half, 69% in the opposition half, 2.6 ball recoveries as well. So, a really, really high potential player here, 17 years of age. And again, we've seen what we can do with some of these young players and bringing them into the club, putting them out on loan, letting them stay at their parent club, and then generating funds off it. So that's an exciting thing to look at. And I would imagine 2 players who are going to be highly wanted across Europe. I think Tottenham are interested in him as well. Arsenal are interested in him. So we would face a lot of competition for him, and highly rated players could be coming into Aston Villa. Now, a couple of players that could be going out of Aston Villa or staying away from Aston Villa. One who's getting rave reviews is Enzo Barrenechea at Valencia. And he's talked this week in international break about how much he's enjoying his time at Valencia. Carlos Corberan is saying that he wants to keep him there. And this is the interesting dilemma. Does he come back into Aston Villa and feature and challenge for the first team and become one of the midfielders on the roster? Or do we potentially cash in and send it and let Valencia sign him? Does he stay on loan for another season to continue his development? Those are some of the questions that Unai Emery and Monchi will have to contend with in the summer. I'm sure we'll bring him back, assess him, see what happens, and then look to move him on. But he's actually said, he's obviously going to say that he's enjoyed his season, he's enjoyed his time at Valencia, and would potentially want to stay. And I guess something would hinge on them staying in La Liga as well, not dropping down into the next division. So that would be an interesting one to see. I would imagine we'd want to make some profit on him as well. I'm sure we would want to make profit on him. So it would be, a pretty decent transfer fee. He's featured quite a lot this season, so has had experience. So that again would be profit in the bank if we were to sell him. But for me, I think bring him back into the first team fold, see what we can do with him. And finally, had a very good season, has featured more than he probably would have expected. Lamar Bogarde has been talked about with Ajax, and he is actually given, the standard answer. It's great to be linked with a big club like Ajax, etc., etc. But it's interesting that other clubs are looking at him, and for a player who's come through our academy, could be good for the PSR, the FFP, and could again command a pretty decent sized transfer fee. Now he has international experience with Holland under 21s, although he did get sent off yesterday, but also Premier League experience, has featured in the Premier League, has featured in the Champions League. So that adds, lots of considerable amounts of money onto a transfer fee. Again, though, someone who I'd probably want to keep. He's very versatile. We've seen can play centre-back, can play right-back, can play defensive midfield, can play further forward in midfield as well. So a player who could be very, very handy for Villa, particularly when injuries hit, or even to challenge for the first team. So yeah, for me, I'd potentially be looking at assessing those two players, keeping them with the club, but we just don't know with the transfer dealings what's going to happen in the summer with how we can balance the books. That's it from me. Let me know your thoughts on the players. The Olympiacos young duo, would you like to see them coming in? Yildiz, is he a potential player for us in and around the 70 to 80 million euro mark? And Barrenechea and Bogarde, would you want to keep them with the club, or would you cash in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 6K. We'll be back later on this weekend with Lions Den Latest with Charlie, aka Academy AVFC, and next week football will be back. So we'll be back with previews and everything else to do with the channel, fans forum, etc., etc. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.